So listen, very common, very common obstacle for sellers is this. This situation happened yesterday. I met with a seller, potential seller, and this situation actually happens quite often. So I'm going to give you the story of what happened yesterday, and then I'm going to give you some suggestions for how to prepare your home as a seller to maximize profits and for it to sit on the market not a long time. So here's the situation. Have a client who I have helped sell 3 houses in the past 5 years. He's in his 80s, one of my favorite people of all times, and he refers me anytime that he hears someone talking about buying or selling. He refers me. I love this guy. So he has a friend, a lady that's 78 years old. Her husband passed away 3 years ago. He pretty much kept up the yard, fixed anything that broke. Y'all, how common is this situation? I mean, I'm in this situation right now where I'm almost 50. My husband fixes anything that breaks. He takes care of the yard. If something happened to him, would I still want this big house with all this land that has to be mowed and the upkeep and all the things, right? It's so common. And what's even crazier is I find that most of the time, it's the husband that dies. And it's the woman that is still there with the house, now trying to keep it up. And it's hard. It's very hard. So I met with her yesterday because she's thinking about selling. And why do I say she's thinking about it? Because listen, when you're 78 years old and you have a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home with 2 living rooms, a huge back patio, it's on an acre of property with a shop and all the things, you're thinking about how difficult is it going to be to pack up every single thing in this house, every single thing in that shop, and then prepare to move. That, wrapping your brain around that is difficult when you're young, but imagine being 78 years old and wanting, in a way, to downsize and move, but then also struggling with the fact that there's memories, right? The house is full of memories. They've lived in this house for 39 years. You can imagine the Christmases, the barbecues, the crawfish balls. She told me about all the things that they had done over the years in that house, and it's hard. It's very hard. And so I'm walking around the place, which you can tell was immaculately taken care of. This house is in just close to perfect condition. But the fact of the matter is, this person has a house and a yard and a shop full of stuff. So for a seller, the hardest thing that I find sellers need to wrap their brains around is this. When you are selling your home, when you make the decision that you are going to sell, in the next couple of months, if you hire a realtor who knows what they're doing, it should be under contract, which means you're moving. You're moving, and this house is no longer going to be your house. So what you have to think about is, if you absolutely are sure that you want to sell, you have to prepare your home in such a way that when a buyer walks through your home, they can picture themselves living in your home, okay? So this person is 78 years old. She has a whole lifetime of stuff in this house and in the shop. And the hardest thing is going to be for her to realize that pretty soon, if you really want to sell it, it's not going to be your house anymore. So what you have to start doing is decluttering, getting rid of things. It's clean. I mean, it's an immaculate, clean condition. but there's no clean, like a deep cleaning from a cleaning team. There's no such thing as just cleaning it yourself. I'm guaranteeing you, unless you have a team of people that are going to deep clean. I'm talking about wiping down, you know, chandeliers, ceiling fans, baseboards, all the things, right? So she has to, and this is not uncommon. When you're older, you have accumulated a whole lot of stuff. And so if you're going to sell, you're going to have to pack it all up and move it anyway, right? You are going to be moving. So the best way to get into the mindset of being a successful seller, which means your house hits the market, it looks amazing in pictures, you get the price that you want for it or very close to it in the shortest amount of time possible. Because as a seller, if you're selling a home that you live in, and especially if you live in it with children, because I've done this before, listen, living in a house with children and the house is for sale is like living in a house with Tasmanian devils, because they're always leaving stuff hanging around. You're always picking up after them. It's not fun. So as a seller, your goal is going to be to sell your home in the quickest amount of time possible, in the shortest amount of time possible, for the most amount of money possible, so that you can take that money and then do whatever it is that you're planning to do next. Most of the time, people need to make as much money as humanly possible so that they can move to their next spot, which is what this lady is trying to do. She wants to take the money, the proceeds from the sale of this house, and use that money to buy a smaller house closer to family, where family can help her keep up. Because listen, when you're 78 years old and you still have your mental capacity, you're still physically able, you still drive, you're still independent, you want to still be independent, but you know that you're in a situation where this is just too much to take care of. That is such a common situation. So if you are a seller and you want to sell, number one thing you need to do is start getting rid of stuff, decluttering, have a big garage sale, take loads of stuff to the dump, take loads of stuff to the Ark or the Way or Goodwill or wherever the case may be, because you're going to have to pack up and move that stuff anyway. So what I tell people is this: when you're going through all the stuff that we accumulate the way that we do, if you haven't used something in the last few months and you know you're probably not going to use it again, get rid of it. You don't want to pack it up for it to then sit in a box at the next house and then you're never going to use it again anyway. So get rid of stuff. And that is a major hurdle for sellers to wrap their minds around, is that a buyer wants to picture themselves living in your house, not you. So those are some tips, are just to declutter. It can't be too clean. It can't be too bright. If you have a ceiling fan, for example, that has 4 bulbs, 3 of them match and 1 doesn't, you want them all to match, right? So those simple little things that are going to make a significant amount of difference when a photographer goes to take pictures of your home. Remember this: in real estate, there are no stupid questions. Ask your questions. Ask your questions. And if you're working with a real estate agent that makes you feel like you ask too many questions or your questions are silly or stupid, find yourself another realtor. Realtors are a dime a dozen. We're all different. We all work differently. Find one that you know, you like, and you trust, and that will answer your questions upon your questions upon your questions, and that will do what is best for you in your situation. Y'all have a great day, and reach out if there's anything I can ever do to help you. Y'all take care.